On this day, the 22nd of April, I transplanted some of the biggest from here. Notice I'm leaving that big one in the centre of that pot, that's going to dominate, to these pots. You see finally the long pot has a line of peppers in it, which I hope are going to grow. Transplanted by loosening up the soil and dragging out the root by holding the leaves. Apparently if you hold the stem then it breaks, but if you hold the leaves it's not likely to break as much. You just got to loosen up all the soil underneath it and then just gently hold it and lift it up. And we got another little one sitting next to the tomato plant, 2 in there, leaving a big gap at the back for the cucumber plant when it comes. And yeah, how many's in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in there. And yeah, don't really have too much room to move all of them to a larger pot, so some of them are just going to stay. We'll see if this transplant has worked out okay. Good thing is, if any of the transplants here to the larger pots fail, I've always got more goes that I can take out from these seedlings that are growing in the small pots. These, which I've taped on now, are just caps over the bamboo to stop you poking your eye out when you bend over, basically. So here's something I just noticed on the 26th of April from the big tomato plant, actually. The first flower has come out. It's a shame there's only one of them, because what I was going to do was to use a paintbrush and then pollinate it by dipping it in one and then dipping it in another. To pollinate it. There's one at the moment. That's the first flower I've seen there. Very interesting. Is there anything on these? Well, there's little blob things. I'm not sure, one of them, the flower comes on the fruit. I think it might be the cucumber, which I haven't got yet. Wasn't able to get it last time because the garden centre was shut, but hopefully next time. Actually, that might be an early pepper or something on the tequila plant just there. So what has changed veg or fruit growing wise? Well, we have the cucumber plants. We've got one cucumber plant which is F5 mini star, says grafted cucumber. I don't know why, but the supermarkets put a clip on it which was pinching the stalk. It was this clip actually. I don't know why you'd pinch the stalk, the nutrients had trouble getting through, so I just put these paper clips on, which I did already with the tomato plant. That seems to be alright. And this one's a supermarket one, Sutton's. It says grows well outside. Well, it's not going to be outside, not for a bit anyway. And this is Telegraph Improved Cucumber. I just got this one from the garden centre, so hopefully this will be a stronger cucumber. That's my main one. They're going to grow up this for a while, and then I will also tie this, I think, to a clip on my ceiling just there. A little tack if I can. And obviously we've got the plant, so the flowers have come out on the plant. 3 of them now. I didn't notice, I thought there was 2, but there's 3. So what I've been doing is trying to do some fake pollination stuff every evening. Just kind of use the paintbrush, try and move the pollen around between the flowers like a bee's legs would, and I'm hopefully going to do that for all the flowers I see, unless there comes a point where I want to take them outside. Pollination makes better fruit, I think. This is my mini chili pepper basket of fire plant. This is my purple tequila pepper one here. They seem to be doing okay. I've noticed these little bumps here. I wonder if that's the early signs of the fruit. I pruned the bottom of the tomato plant here. You might have noticed that leaf was too close to soil. It wasn't getting hardly any sunlight, and I want this to keep growing up and up and up. So I'm going to pull off any suckers that I find between the junctions of the branches. And these are my pepper plants. These are the ones I grew from the seedlings, the biggest so far. Actually, the biggest is this one. Quite proud of this fella. He's going to be central in that pot. All these ones are going to have to just fend for themselves in the smaller pot. These are the ones that started late. Some of these are getting bigger, but they're still not as big as these ones which went in the giant pot. Something I also did was 2 days ago I drew a line on the stick to show the maximum height of the tomato plant, and look, it has actually jumped up a full 3 centimeters higher than that line was. I did the same for the pepper plant, and that doesn't seem to have, no, that hasn't got any higher in 2 days, which is weird. But the tomato plant seems to be growing pretty fast. So let's put our second line down for all of these then. Somewhere around here. And these haven't changed, so they don't get a second line. And then these ones, let's do it for the highest one. So here, I'd say. This is crazy. It's been 2 hours since I did the report where I drew the line with a pen, and already the tomato plant has grown to over the level of that line. That's crazy. Just 2 hours growth. They grow so fast, these tomato plants. So I couldn't get pin tacks into the ceiling, but now we've got a couple of ropes for the tomato plant and the cucumber plant. Got a little pre-placed hook at the top of my window chain that I've done a ridge line across, and hanging these ropes down to attach to the top of these poles. Hopefully they're going to climb up there. So it's May the 2nd. Let's see what's going on with our plants. You're seeing some quite big growth here. This one's obviously doing the best out of the ones I sprouted. So you've got the fake leaves here, which are what it starts as a seedling, and then you've got the actual real leaves here, the sun leaves, and then there'll be 2 real leaves coming out in the middle there. I think they grow in a spiral, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So I'm hoping that these second real sun leaves come through, so it'll be like 2 of these seedling leaves underneath and then 4 on top. So that'll be good when that happens. That's the nearest to reaching that stage. There are some of these down here. Whoop. Get my strap out of the way. There's some of these that are catching up with it down here. That one I'd say, and that one maybe. So that's the peppers. This is quite a mixed tub here. Some of these are quite mixed. So you've got weird grass things, got quite large. This is a weird plant here. Don't know what that is. Don't know what that is. Don't know what this is. Don't know what that is. Don't know what that is. But these 2 are peppers. So that's quite a mix there. I transplanted this one recently to give it more room from being besides one of these, and it seems to have kind of started withered and dying. The leaves aren't healthy at all. So that's a sad transplant. I guess I broke a root there. This is a mixed pot, several peppers in here, 5 peppers in here, also something weird there, and something weird here. And then I think there's a pepper that tried to grow here and then just kind of died, and it's got the seed on the end of it for some reason. Yeah, that's a bit weird. So down here we got the bigger stuff. The tomato plant is just growing chaotically fast. It's gonna, I don't know if I show you I've got the string system here. So the cucumber plants haven't got too high at all. I'm still doing the marker thing with the pen, so that's the mark I made today. That's the last mark I made a couple days ago, say. This is the telegraph telegraph cucumber. This is the F1 mini star cucumber. I don't know why I call it grafted. I think they call it grafted because it had this dumbass clip on it which was squeezing the stem, which I don't like, so I took it off. See, I'm using the little paper clips to the pole thing. That seems to be working for everything. 2 peppers in there too. So those are the main vine climbers, so I've given them a rope. Tomato plant is doing very well, Sweet Million. This has shot up so fast. You can see where I've been putting marks. There's a mark there, a mark there. These are just like a few days apart. A mark there was like 2 days ago. And then today I've seen it climb up to around this level. So if we go side on, let's see how I'm doing the marks there, side on. And it is a beast, this tomato plant. So tomato plant definitely grows the fastest out of the 3. You can see there's those flowers there. I've been doing a bit of the self-pollination thing with the paintbrush, dipping it. I think a flower fell off here and then I saw this. So that looks a bit like a tomato to me. There's another one somewhere. Yeah, and this got high enough for me to need to put a new clip in just there to keep it on the thing. A secret pepper plant behind the tomato plant. And these are the bought pepper plants, so they're a lot bigger. There's a little fucking spider trying to get on my plant. Fuck off. This is the Tequila purple pepper plant, and I noticed this on here just today. I think that might be an early Tequila pepper right there. And this one doesn't seem to be growing suckers so much. It's got something in the gaps, but you can see from lower down they don't tend to become much at the moment. It's growing up in one stalk, which is kind of what I want. And then this is the chili pepper plant. Can't quite tell what's going on with this one, but there are some little blobs here which might possibly become the chili peppers. So there we are for now. So it was a pretty hot day today for Britain. 18 degrees C, low end of hot. So probably the hottest we've had this year so far, in early May, and we haven't seen much growth today. Like cucumber plants, yeah, they haven't jumped over my mark. Pepper plants haven't, and tomato plant hasn't really. I started marking this stick, and my top pepper and that stick hasn't really bested the mark. So they've all kind of stopped. I wonder if the weather's a bit too hot for them. And I think what's going on here, so we got some white flowers on the pepper plant, on the hot pepper plant, and there's a white flower here. That's the first I've actually seen on the tequila plant there. But over here with the tomato plant, I think what's happening is that when these yellow flowers, they come out and they display for a bit, and then they tend to fall off. But when they fall off, I think that's the first. Oh, let's get a focus. So yeah, I think that's the first. And then a couple of other flowers fell off, and there's something there that looks like a baby, and there's something here that looks like a baby. So yeah, so I think the flowers come up for a very brief time, and then they fall off. And pepper grow. Sorry, it's a tomato. Why am I saying pepper? Why am I saying pepper? A tomato grows in their place. I'm getting confused between these plants. But I think that might happen with this one as well. Which these actually are the peppers. It is a strong sun heatwave day today. I'm thinking that I probably need to put something in that window. Sun sets in that direction, rises in that direction. If I put something across the window there, it'd probably provide some shade in the summer for my plants. I'm not sure how to do that. I'm thinking some kind of foam sticker or something, so light's still getting through it, but it's it's not strong sunlight hitting the plants, because apparently they don't like a lot of strong sunlight. 10th of May, plants are doing alright today. It's another heat wave day, my day off. We've got some quite juicy looking leaves. Some of these small ones have got rather big. And this big one used to be the biggest of the seedlings I grew. Now it's looking like it's not getting enough energy to get bigger. These are pots of weird mixed ass plants that accidentally grew up through the soil. This one's doing pretty well, and my cucumber plant has finally started growing up higher. You can see the last mark is there. It's obviously got up to around here now. Oh, I see a tendril. I actually didn't notice that. Right, on video you're seeing me notice something. That's the first tendril. Tendrils are like little arms that reach up from the cucumber plant, and they'll try and grab the vine themselves, but they're quite weak. The thing is, with these giant leaves that have come out on the cucumber plant, they're now kind of hiding some of the light from this pepper plant. There's something odd about this pepper plant. It's the leaves are more bumpy than all the other leaves, which makes it look like a chili pepper plant. Sort of see a difference. All these are smooth. This one's doing really well. I like this. And then these ones, these are excellent now. Look how big they've got since they were seedlings. It's pretty big. These three in the middle. I think this one in the middle is like, hey, I'm in the central position. I'm going to suck up all the nutrients from either side. It's getting pretty big. And then these ones I bought, and they were sort of big, so I don't think I'm worrying about the tequila plant. Flower just came out earlier and then it died off, which means I think it's ready to become the first pepper, maybe? We'll have to see. The chili pepper is in such a bush. I wanted it to grow straight up like a normal pepper plant, but I think the chili peppers are meant to be like a bush. So yeah, I can't find out where the suckers are in between the branches. There seems like there's so many. So I'm going to leave that one for suckers and focus on these ones. Tomato plant's obviously the tallest. It's been doing some wilting recently. I'm waiting for this bit to grow up to this paperclip hook up here, so it has enough support to almost reach the end tip of my bamboo and then continue up there. Doing pretty well so far. Same day later on, another thing I've done today is I've just planted some extra pepper seeds in the gaps where past peppers have sort of died off. You can see this little poor fella is shriveled up, but underneath him there are 2 pepper seeds there, 2 pepper seeds there, and I've planted one there, I think, just to grow in the spaces where some crops have failed early. This leaf at the bottom of my tomato plant's looking kind of yellowish. Not sure why that is. I'm wondering if I'm going to have to remove that branch and see. This is very green and fresh, but that's a bit yellowy. Weird. Peppers and veg plants are growing stronger. One thing I've noticed is that small flies are appearing. I'm not really sure if that's just to do with the time of year, because you're meant to plant the peppers in like April, and so you're doing this at the same time of year, so the flies just might be appearing because it's this time in summer. I noticed on the tomato plant the leaves were yellowing, a bit like on this one, but you may notice there was another stalk here, so I pruned that off. It was looking very yellow, and I don't know, it looked quite unhealthy. This one's beginning to go in that direction. I've shown a picture of that actually. But yeah, the tomato plant has paused its growing tall, and the cucumber plant has sped up. And this tendril, the tendril doesn't seem to want to grab hold of the stick. It just keeps flailing about like it's looking for something else. I'm pretty proud of these gigantic leaves for the ones I grew. Some of these, they're doing the thing where it's like there's a fake leaf there as they begin a seedling, there's a fake leaf there as they begin a seedling, then you got the 1 and the 2 real leaves, and then the 3 and the 4 real leaves have started coming up in the middle. Now one of these somewhere has started producing, well, you can see tiny ones there. The next one's after the 4, which is pretty good. I wanted them to get to this stage where it was like, oh, in fact that one's got an extra leaf on it. I didn't even realise. Yeah, that one's advanced. I did not notice that. So there's 1, 2 fake seedling leaves, then I wanted 4 on top. This one's going to a 5th, so that's pretty cool.